challenge because I'm starting to realise this 5mm by 30 thing might be more detrimental than good. Let me explain why. So the original plan was to grow and sell two businesses that started in late 2017, early 2018. So they're just over a year old essentially. It's been an interesting year, a year that has filled me with a lot of optimism that we're going to hit this target. So one business being a mailing house in the UK, another business being an agency based in the US. Now the mailing house it's had a decent year. It's gone from a kind of standard start to being profitable, not being particularly difficult to run, being hands off for me and the other director, which has been nice. But we sat down recently to have a chat about, like, is this got everything it needs to be in order to scale to reach the millions of valuation to sell that we're going to need it to in 3 years? And the answer is probably not. On reflection, the model is difficult to scale. The beauty of I suppose there's a big difference between scaling and growing. What that business can do is grow. It can't scale because regardless of if we want to do something once or do it 1,000 times in terms of our fulfillment, it doesn't get easier or quicker, or the value of doing that doesn't get lower. So it's just a growth business, which makes it really difficult to grow to that valuation. And unless we can really pivot our model to not be the commodity service that is essentially, then it becomes tough. We don't own any kind of unique assets. It's very much a service business. I'm sure we can attach expertise around that, but we have kind of decided the best route for that is to let's build that business up, put management in place, step back in the next couple of years and let it pay us a very comfortable amount of money each month. So that's kind of the plan with that business. Of course, things change. All it takes is a few interesting relationships and things can change again. But that's kind of where we're at on that. The US agency, so this kind of gave me permission to go, right, the US agency, that's the big grow to sell. That's gonna drive the valuation to sell the business to get the income to achieve this 5mm by 30 target. However, oh man, it's been frustrating. So last episode, I mentioned that something had happened out of our hands, which kind of thrown everything up in the air. So essentially, that business was very perfect. It was all too good to be true because we had this. We identified the buyer, we identified the strategy, we identified exactly what we need to do to get the business to the point where it'll be valued X for that buyer. However, something changed quite significantly, what was out of our hands, which means that now we've got to go back to the drawing table and pivot the model, moving from the agency model more to a kind of different style of model, which once we kind of join the dots over the next few weeks and define that completely, I'll share that with you. But that's another interesting one because the way we was going to scale to a point and then sell is going to change, where now we're kind of looking to build a model that maximizes profitability, which means that it will likely become a business that, once again, doesn't require an awful lot of work day to day, but we can take a very, very nice income out of. And this is where the 5mm by 30 thing can become detrimental, because regardless of how we look at it, I'm building wealth from these two businesses. I'm building kind of a better future, a better financial future out of both of them. But if I get too hung up on this 5mm by 30 target, I've got the risk of making the wrong decisions here with the pursuit for this kind of fictional number in the air, which I've held myself accountable towards. So I think it can potentially be dangerous, but I'm trying not to get too hung up on that. I'm trying to focus on what the right thing to do is. And over the next few weeks, when all these dots are joined and I have a much clearer idea of what's going on and we've all got the kind of strategy defined, then I'll be able to share in more detail. But that's the latest update for you.